Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Views from the Stand. I'm your boy, G Mike, Georgia Michael, and I got my dog BC in here. BC, how you feeling, buddy?
What up? Your boy is tired, my guy. How about yourself?
I'm tired too. Tired too. We gotta keep putting in this work. In this work.
They say the grind never stops, and I feel like the older we get, man, the more we find that out, dude. It's so true.
100%. The more sleep that we lose, and especially later on when we both start having kids, sleep is gonna be nothing. It's gonna be gone. Zip. Nada.
Prepare for it now.
Crying. No, we're gonna be crying. We'll be waking up in the middle of the night.
Views from the Stand's updates, changing the diaper. You know, that's how it'll be.
That's how it's gonna be for sure. Guys, we got a lot of NBA basketball talk. We got second round NBA playoffs going down. We got some breaking news that some of them are some serious things to mention, to go over a little bit, and then we got a coach that remained with one of his teams. But before we get into that, I want to special shout out to Varsity Sports. Thank you for working with us and sponsoring us. Varsity Sports, it's a sports app, and it could be found on the Roku, on your Apple Store, an Android store, and they basically have a lot of talk shows when it comes to high school, collegiate, and pro sports. They also work with high schools in Central Florida, where they broadcast their high school football games. They're doing high school baseball as well. They can stream a lot of their games on the Roku app itself and on the iPhone and Android store. So if you guys can check it out, Varsity Sports Nation is the app where you want to get all your favorite talk shows. And like your boys right here, Views from the Stand, we own that thing too. Just to start off with the breaking news, man. I want to start off with this first. So it's some very serious stuff. So later on during the show, we don't have to be so serious. So just to get it out of the way, we had two passing of NBA players, NBA talents today, and one of them was Brandon Clark, Memphis Grizzly, died at 29 years old. Supposedly, it was due to an overdose that was going on. All the report has not come out yet. Very tragic loss. Is very upsetting for a lot of people. I'm sure for his family and friends as well. Condolences to them and prayers out to them. Dealing with the situation. Like I said, as of now, it hasn't come out fully why he passed away, but there's a rumor going around that it has to do with drug overdose. You got anything to add, BC?
I mean, it's just sad. You know, it's a guy that was fine and that has kind of found his role, his part on an NBA team. And, I think it's one of those things where, I think we see a lot of times, like, if we lose the loss of like a big star or something like that, it kind of shakes the NBA. But I think even these ones right here, where people would consider him just kind of a role player, it's like still like he's somebody that carved a niche out for himself on this Memphis Grizzlies team. He's been a multi-year veteran, entire time with the organization. So, he definitely was, a part of that. He played his role. He played his role well, double-digit points. And it's just, it's somebody that was building himself a legacy there, and a legacy where he was able to contribute to a part of a great culture in Memphis basketball. And it's just, it's a shame that his life gets cut so short by this tragedy right here. And it's just something where news like this, it's not really easy to deliver, and there's not really any easy words to say. There's nothing really we could offer, really anybody that can offer, that can, heal the pain that's in the heart of his family, and the heart of his community, and the heart of his teammates or his organization. But you just have to try to remember the life that he lived, the good times that were had, and that's pretty much that's all you can do to try to comfort yourself during these times.
Yeah, definitely. And just on the basketball side of it, he was a very important piece to that young Memphis Grizzlies team a few years ago, that they were trying to make runs down the line, going up against Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, the old Phoenix Suns with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and all those guys. They were trying to make their mark on Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Brandon Clark, Dylan Brooks when he was there. They were trying to make an impact in the Western Conference. They didn't really get that far. But he was a focal piece for that when it comes to rim protection and trying to make buckets at the basket. Just on the
Hmm.
other and the human aspect side, it really sucks to see someone go away so early because of drug use. Right now, it's a possible drug overdose that the LAPD found them in a Los Angeles San Fernando Valley. Narcotics were found at the scene, but there was no evidence of foul play, so they don't really know all the um, the logistics for it right now. But soon that will later come out, and if it is true, if it was for a drug overdose, it's really sad to see. And again, just prayers to his family and friends and condolences to them.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah, the other guy I want to bring up here is another guy that passed away today that just broke right now. I think like 20 minutes ago was Jason Collins, and Jason Collins was one of the first, I think the only, but first
Yep.
player to come out as openly gay. He dies of brain cancer at 47. He was a global ambassador for brain cancer. He was diagnosed with stage 4. I don't want to butcher this, so correct me if I'm wrong. Glastopomia. I don't know if you want
Yeah, I
to
think it's like
check that out,
glioblastoma,
BC. One of the
glioblastoma.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Thank you. One of the deadliest forms of brain cancer. He traveled to Singapore this past winter to receive experiential treatments not yet authorized in the United States. So he was doing stuff that not primarily dependent here in the United States. Those treatments were effective enough for him to return home, attend NBA All Star Weekend events in Los Angeles, and attend a game at his alma mater, which was Stanford. But the cancer recently returned, and Collins died peacefully at his home, surrounded by his family. Anything to add here, BC?
Again, you just, I mean, I think, I think our commenter right here pretty much sums it up. Like, you just rest in peace, like the legacy that they leave behind. And it even more so the family that you leave behind, the loved ones. I think that's the thing for me that really sticks out the most. You just, you, your hearts, your thoughts, your prayers, it goes out to them because for me, I understand what's like losing a loved one. And so to be able to, or to have to go through that. And again, it's somebody that both of these deaths, like these should not be happening. It seems like these two individuals should be. It seems like they should be living longer, fuller lives, and it's something that it's not fair. Um, you honest. I know it's this it's the world we live in, but you would like to see these people with these stories being able to just live long, healthy, happy lives, being able to overcome whether it's injuries, overcoming illnesses like brain cancer. I know, like you said, it was stage 4, and what a great story to be able to battle it off and fight it off. But yeah, it was sad to hear that it came back, but I will say the only, I guess, to put any kind of silver lining on this loss is that at least that with Jason, he was able to be surrounded by friends and family, and it was able to be as peaceful as it can be. And that's honestly, that's the biggest, I guess, comfort you can take is having the love of your family with you to go through even the absolute worst in this life.
Yeah, and I feel bad for his family and friends because like that whole journey, you can say, even though
Mhm.
journey is more of a positive thing, in this thing is not really, is more the negative. But the whole journey of him going through that and having that brain cancer and fighting it off and then coming back, like I just imagine like what they went through, what he went through, what they all went through together. They all shared that pain and that sadness and you know the anger, I'm sure, as well at times. And just thinking about that, and like it's just very troublesome to the mind of the fact that like it's it's you got to live through that for so much time. It's not just from one day to the another and then boom, let's say he's gone. No, I'm sure that this were years or maybe months, weeks, years, and who knows what the timetable was. But just them going through that together, I'm sure was not an easy task for any of them.
No, it's never easy. And like I said, really the only thinking you can kind of do in times like this is just come together, whether that's as a family come together and mourn the loss of your loved one, or coming together as a community, whether it's the NBA community, whether it's
Mhm.
the teams that he played for, just being able to rally around them and just support them, lift them up, and in any way you can. It again, even just something as small as a thought or a prayer, it goes a long way. Just standing with them is honestly that's the best thing that we all can do.
Yeah, facts. And shout out to the San Antonio Spurs. They actually had Jason Collins and Brandon Clark up on the big screen, and they had a moment of silence for them. So, as of right now, BC, we'll take a little 3 second moment of silence for these guys. Yeah, it's never easy to talk about something like this because it's always very heartbreaking to anybody, even if you don't know them, and obviously for the people that do know them, it's tough to. I'm sure if they're watching ESPN and they start talking about this, I'm sure a lot of emotions come out for them and stuff like that. So again, prayers and condolences to their family and other loved ones.
Mhm.
All right. Well, the other breaking news that we got was again, it's hard to move on from that, but we got to here. The other breaking news was Nick Nurse. He will remain as the Philadelphia 76ers head coach, which would be for his fourth season, this upcoming season coming up. And I don't have the picture for Daryl Morey, but he's out as president of operations for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mhm.
The Sixers just lost right now. They got swept by the New York Knicks a few days ago. They actually beat the Boston Celtics, where a lot of people did not have the 76ers beating the Boston Celtics to move on to the second round. Joel Embiid's always been on and off the court with his injuries. Paul George, he was suspended 25 games for substance abuse. Tyrese Maxey is the star there, and he's showing that he can lift the team and go with them. And then VJ Edgecombe has come into his own as a rookie, but he still has a lot of more to learn because in a few of those games he didn't play well. In other games he played exceptional. Joel Embiid missed game two against the New York Knicks, so it really halted them there. Even though they almost lost that game, but when it came down to the last 4 minutes of that game, if you were paying attention, it was hard for them to get a bucket because no one out there was um, executing as well on offense to try to go out there and get a bucket for them. So that would have been awesome for Joel Embiid to be out there and get the ball in the post, make a post move fade, try to get to the basket, try to draw a foul, get a dunk and go to the free throw line. It would have been awesome for them there. Then maybe that would have changed the momentum of the series. I think the New York Knicks still would have won, but they ended up getting swept. And now Nick Nurse is gonna get another chance, another crack at it with his fourth season. BC, what do you think about this?
I mean, it doesn't necessarily surprise me with Morey being ousted with the Sixers. I mean, I know, he's done a lot of good investments with the team. Obviously, getting Edgecombe, getting Maxi, obviously getting Embiid to the extension, regardless of whether or not he's been injured or not. There's been a lot of good, but also too, the Paul George signing hasn't exactly worked out for him. The roster construction kind of with the team, and we see this a lot. We've been seeing this with kind of the differences between what the ownership is evaluating, whether, do we blame this on roster construction? If so, then the GM is out. If this is more on how the players are playing together, and this is on how, like teams are holding leads, then it kind of leans more on the head coach, which is why we kind of saw the Magic getting rid of Jamal Mosley last week, but retaining Jeff Weltman, just because ownership believes that the roster's good, just in-game decision making is that great. Kind of the reverse here. So I would tend to agree. I think Nick Nurse is a great, I think he's a good, solid, in-game presence. And I think that he just maybe needs a little bit more time, maybe just some different players, different, tweaks of the roster here and there, maybe trying to find a way to get out of having Paul George on the roster. Maybe trying to send him away, maybe try to get some second rounders, get some cash considerations, get something for it. But yeah, I think that getting rid of Darren Moore was definitely the smart move for Philly going forward.
Yeah, I haven't really liked him since he did that whole thing with James Harden. I felt like he's very petty person. I think he did it in Houston, and then he did it again in Philadelphia, when you promise someone that you're gonna sign and trade them, trying to give them uplift, trying to give them some excitement later on in the career, and then you start holding it back and you don't go with your word. It's something that I don't really respect. So when that started happening, those rumors started coming out. I was like, I don't really think that he's good. A good president to be for any team, in my opinion. I don't really think he has what it takes to put a winning roster together, to put a winning front office together, and to make them correlate and become great with each other and have so much chemistry to try to go win a championship. So I think him getting kicked out for sure was good, and them keeping Nick Nurse, I think it was also great as well. I think he's a good and exceptional coach. He's an NBA coach champion with the Toronto Raptors. You know, he led
Yep.
them to a championship where people thought that they weren't even going to get close to even sniffing the Eastern Conference Finals. They ended up doing it. They ended up going to the finals where they played against the Golden State Warriors, where obviously they had injuries, so you know that really played a part in them winning that championship. But still, maybe if the Golden State Warriors were healthy, who knows? Maybe it would have gone, you know, all 7 games, and they would have ended up winning still. But I think he's a good coach. I think the past few seasons, this season and last season, they just been very unlucky.
Yeah.
This season they had a nice roster, but it was only Maxi and Paul George really being consistent on this roster.
Mhm.
I would say Joel Embiid, but the best availability is being able to play, and he's
Yeah.
not being able to play all the time consistently. So can't really say that he's consistent. VJ Edgecombe, like I said, like he had several good games, but then he had other games where he was going 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 and stuff like that. So it was like you can't really fault him. It's his first year. He's a rookie. He's still got to get that momentum and get that courage and get that knowledge of to play consistently in the playoffs. So I think he's going to come into his own later on, and I think he's going to learn quick. I think he'll probably look like a 10-year vet in like year 3. So I don't think they
Mhm.
should worry there. I think keeping Nick Nurse, he's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. He has some good in-game adjustments, and he's a winning coach. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I am curious to see who they decide to go with the GM now at this point. I mean, we're only in the second round of the postseason, so I mean, yes, we've seen some personnel decision changes and everything like that with some of the eliminated teams, but I'm definitely interested in seeing where they go with this because again, you've got some great pieces on this roster for sure. Any GM would be lucky to have, but now I think you got to start figuring out your guys like your roles for Edgecombe, Maxi. Are you building this still around? Is this still Joel Embiid's team, or is now Tyrese Maxey taking over, and is he going to be the guy? And then do you have Joel Embiid kind of be that secondary piece and kind of getting some more guys around him to kind of act as a buffer in case he goes down again, which is more likely than not these days.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because I was going to ask you something about that, but let me answer it first. Yes, I think
Mhm.
this is Tyrese Maxey's team for sure. I think he's
Yeah.
the leader. I think they got to step in line behind him. I think in my opinion, I think they should still keep Paul George because he was actually playing great until he was playing decent. Then he started to play good. Then he started to play great like 3 4 games right before the suspension happened. I'm sure, yeah, he probably either was on steroids or any substance. They could give it the excuse, whatever the excuse was for the substance, right? But it was a performance enhanced drug, in my opinion. I think that he started to ball out, and then next thing you know, he got suspended. So, but when he came back, playing, then playoffs, he was doing good. He was being consistent. So I think you should keep him, especially with the large contract that he has. I don't think you're gonna get so many pieces in return for him. So,
Mhm.
let him fill in that role of let me drop 15 points, grab 6 rebounds, and dish out 3 assists while playing pretty good defense on the other opponent's small forwards or power forwards. I think he's a good piece to keep around Maxi. Now with
See,
Joel Embiid, definitely he's got to take that back seat for sure, and I don't think this is his team anymore. But with what I wanted to ask you, and then you could
yeah.
go on and what give your opinions on that. But what I wanted to ask you, is there a future with Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia Sixers, or would you see them trying to trade him off and try to get some assets in return?
I think the only way I could see them trading him off is if they paired him with Paul George. At this point, because I think you could probably take a lot of salary filler. You could probably get some draft picks for the both of them, and then taking some expirings on top of that. That's I think kind of it because I know, and to go back to what you're saying about PG, that solid stats like if you go 15, 6, and 3, but to be making over $50 million a year though with his salary, I just don't know if you can justify that. In an ideal world, you try to maybe get that off the books. Maybe you can restructure it. Maybe you can't. That's why for me, I'm more on the board of if we're really gonna build this around Maxi, do you really think that Paul George is going to be a long term piece in helping this team develop more, or for me, I at this point in time, I just kind of see it more of just an albatross that's just almost bordering on dead weight. I know he had some good games during the season; he was playing better, but I think that what you're paying him for, like you're paying him $50 million a year to basically be a role player, which is just it's an absurd overpay. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I just feel like today's NBA, the role players are getting paid up to that. Obviously, when they paid him, they didn't think that he was gonna be a role player. They think that he was gonna
Yeah.
shine like how he was supposed to be doing with the LA Clippers. Obviously, it didn't pan out,
Mhm.
but that's what they thought it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what's up with the Sixers, man. I like the roster. When they went up against Boston, I was like, yo, man, they could do something. I don't know if they win it, but they could do something. And honestly, them getting past them and going to the against the New York Knicks, it was very surprising. But the roster, the way that it is constructed, I'm like, yo, dude, they can make some noise if Joel Embiid's healthy. If Paul George plays like vintage Paul George and not podcast P and more like playoff P. If Maxi is showing his star studding, he could ball out, and then BJ Edgecombe looks like a rookie of the year candidate. You know what I'm saying? So I thought they were pretty good, but obviously, the New York Knicks, their offensive firepower is just out of this world right now in the Eastern Conference.
Hmm. It's their conference right now.
Yeah. But we'll stick with the Eastern Conference here. I want to bring up the game yesterday with the Cleveland Cavaliers tying up the series against the Detroit Pistons. And dude, what a win to have at home, and especially with Donovan Mitchell and the fact that he scored 43 points, shot 13 for 26 from
Hmm.
the field, made 4 3-pointers, and 39 of those points were in the second half. James
Yep.
Harden dropped 24 points. I'm sorry, 11 assists, shot 5 for 9 from three. Evan Mobley dropped 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, while shooting 6 from 11 from the field. Now, up to this point, there hasn't been a road win in this series. Detroit won the first 2 games at home. Cleveland won the next 2 games. Now they're going game 5 to Detroit, which is tomorrow. Do you think any of these teams will win on the road?
Whether I think either team can win on the road, but whether or not they do, if I had to pick one of the two, I would probably lean just a little bit more towards Cleveland, just because you have more of a dynamic duo at at the guard positions. I think that that's something that obviously again Detroit does have. You've got Asar Thompson there, and you've got King Cunningham, both of them are some bigger bodies that can defend. But I just think that Cleveland's team overall is just kind of geared more towards that. You got a great backcourt duo. You got a really solid front court duo in Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. I mean, the front court with Detroit, it's pretty much like 6'10" and under. So I think if there's any team that can win it on the road, it's definitely Cleveland. And again, like we said, great game from Donovan Mitchell. Was able to shoot lights out for most of it. Were able to drive, get to the rim. Really great job of being able to get to the line. And then James Harden too, I think, has really settled into his secondary scorer, can get you 30, 40 points if you need it, but mostly just acting as a really great facilitator and playmaker. I think that is just so different than I think what Houston played in their last playoff series. So I just think I think if there's anybody that's going to be able to steal one on the road, maybe in Game 6, I could see it being Cleveland, or not Game 6, Game 5, or Game 7.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the same. I think each team they play way better at home, and on the road they're just when it comes to the role players, they play in any team. They play better at home. They got the crowd, they got the excitement going, they got the cheers going for them. They got that motivation and they got that discipline to knock down shots and play good defense. With Cleveland, when you see it on the road, it's like they forget to execute. They forget to do the small things, which comes to bite them in the butt, and they start looking clustered like a cluster mess. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're like, oh man, we're getting like 9 turnovers a half. Comes down almost 20 turnovers in a whole game. And it's like, dude, like you're not gonna have winning basketball like that, right? But again, like we've talked about before, on paper, Cleveland is the better team. They have more
Mm.
scores and they have, I would say, the slight edge of defensive stoppers when it comes to Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and the rest of the role players there. I don't think Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are good defenders, but what
Well,
Detroit has is the grit and physicality. They like to push people around. They like to grab boards offensively and defensively, no matter what. They're hustling for each and every play. Like they'll show you the grit and intensity for sure, every single play. The thing is that I think James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, like you mentioned, are the best backcourt compared to the Detroit Pistons. I think the best guard is Kate Cunningham, but he has
yeah,
to do everything for the team offensively: shoot,
very
pass,
heliocentric.
rebound, play defense. He has to do everything for the team, and sometimes he's gonna get tired. Which it looks like out there he doesn't really get tired, but I'm pretty sure that he does. And they brought in Duncan Robinson so he could be a 3-point sniper, and sometimes he doesn't show up. Sometimes he does. When he does show up, Pistons are winning. When he doesn't show up, they end up losing. So I don't know. I
Yep.
put more trust into the fact that James Harden and Donovan Mitchell can get Cleveland a win on the road. And I agree with you. I think it's gonna be game 7. I don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
be this next game. I think Detroit's gonna come out punching after losing 2 in a row. I see Cade dropping 40 points again, probably 10 assists with like 7 rebounds. I could see Duncan Robinson at home knocking down like 5 or 6 threes. Tobias Harris has been great for them, so consistent through the playoffs. I think he's dropping like 17 points per game, which is something that they really need. Jalen Duran's been stepping it up. I think at home, collectively together, they're a great unit. But when they go on the road, it kind of shies away. I think Detroit takes this next game. Cleveland takes it at game 6. And then game 7 is always a toss up. You don't really know who's going to win. And then I would say, just because on paper, the Cavs are a better team, I'll say the Cavs taking it at the 7th game.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. And I will always, when it comes to the postseason, I tend to lean a little bit more towards the well-rounded, well-balanced teams that give you multiple points of attack, as opposed to one or two at best. So yeah, I could honestly see D Mitch, having 20, 30 points in game 7. James Harden's going to be, I think I could see him getting double digit assists. And then, you got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley both could easily get double doubles and multiple blocks in that game. So I gotta lean more towards just the well-roundedness that Cleveland has. And finally for them, like it seems like we've been waiting for this kind of step for them for a few years now, for at least a couple years. So to see them being able to potentially take that step and getting the right guy in that system, and it being James Harden, that would be pretty nice, seeing James Harden potentially making it back to the or making it back to the conference finals, and who knows where they go from there.
Yeah, I think the most important piece to that team for Cleveland, I think, is going to be Jared Allen. If he's able to record a double double with, I
Hmm.
would say, 15 points. Let's say 15. I think 20 would be obviously better, but even 15 and 10, dude. If he gets 15 and 10, they, with the way that James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley play, if Jared Allen's able to get 15 and 10, they will win each and every game. But that's the thing. He doesn't show up sometimes. Obviously, being against Jalen Duren, he's very physical and he's strong. It's going to be tough for him to get layups, dunks, or even try to get the ball at the post. He's not really a post player. He's more like a pick and roll type of guy, throw it up, alley, just like Jalen Dirk. But if he's able to get 15 points and 10 rebounds, I think the Cavs could win.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to lean more towards the other Twin Tower with Evan Mobley on that one. I think just because of how he played in this most recent game, 17-8, and he had the highest plus minus of the entire night for Cleveland. So like if he does an efficient, I think if either one of them give you 15 and 10, the other one gives you like 10 and 10, you control the glass, and then also too you use your size and your height to your advantage on defense. And they're not just traditional bigs where they're just flat footed. They can move, they can switch. So if you use that to your ability and you're able to contain the Pistons, I would say superior athleticism, just because you got one of the Thompson brothers, and on those two are automatically like the best athletic duo in the league. So if you can contain the athleticism that the Pistons bring, I think you'll be able to grind out a Game 7 victory on the road.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens. We got that game
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow night. This other series that I want to talk to you about that's already over. The Oklahoma City Thunder is sweeping the Los Angeles Lakers. They won Game 4, 115-110, complete the sweep to go to the Western Conference Finals. They have not lost
Mhm.
in the NBA playoffs so far. And even Shea didn't even play that good of a series. He had a great game last night. He had 35
Mhm.
points. But the whole series, it was kind of average compared to his numbers throughout the regular season. Before we get with OKC and how great they are and what they can do in the next round, whatever, the big question that's been floating around is what is LeBron's future going to look like? And I wanted to get your thoughts on this and what you think, because we had talked about it before the season started. So now, Western Conference Finals knocking on the door. LeBron James is not in the playoffs no more. What do you think, BC? Where do you think he goes? Or do you think he keeps playing? Do you think he retires? What's up?
I I would like to say that he retires, but I don't know, man. We've been trying to predict when LeBron James is going to retire for the last what, like feels like almost a decade now, and he just keeps going. So I don't know if he gets to next year. I think it'll be what, year 25, I think, or maybe year 24.
24.
Yeah, it would not surprise me to see him try to play 25 years. Like imagine that, like on your resume, like being I played a quarter century of basketball, and honestly, he still looked like he could do it. He was still putting up like 20, 25 points a night, giving you like 6, 7, 8 boards and assists. Like he can still do it. So it would not surprise me if he came back. If does he come back with LA? I don't know. I keep hearing the rumors about him wanting to go back to Cleveland, which I mean, I know they look like they kind of need a little bit of some wing help a little bit as far as, Dean Wade 0 points, 5 boards. I'm sure they wouldn't mind having a little bit of that if he'd be willing to maybe take a step back. Um, but I think that his play style and his game still definitely, it's still worthy enough to be a starter in the league. It's just, are you willing to not have the offense run through you anymore, which it looked like he was doing that this year. He was kind of stepping back a little bit more. He was letting Luca run the show, letting Austin Reeves kind of take more of the shots. And I think that he realizes that at this point in his career, if he wants to keep playing, he has to learn to kind of take the ball out of his hands and just kind of be a little bit more off ball, maybe be a little bit more what's the word? Being willing to kind of just I forget the word right now. It's just being able to give the ball up a little bit. So, and honestly, I feel like if there is a team he comes back to, I think probably his best bet would be Cleveland. Because then I know for sure I think if you put LeBron James on this Cavs team, they're not just favorites to win the series. They could be favorites to win the East, potentially. Because we talked about it, Harden, Mitchell on the backcourt. You don't have to really worry about doing a lot of shot creation or shot at that point. You got Mobley and you've got Allen that can defend the post. You don't have to worry about your defense as much. So I could see him coming back. I'll lean 70-30. He does, and I will lean about 70-30. It's with the Cavs next year.
Yeah, I'm 100% that he comes back for sure. Now,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go with my prediction that he goes to the Cavaliers. I think it would just make sense in a Cinderella story, you can say, of the fact of like, yo, let me go back one more year, play
Hmm.
again for my hometown, try to win another championship for my hometown, where their roster is pretty well set all around with guards, forwards, centers. You plug them in there, just like you said, they're the favorites to win the East right now. Like,
Yep.
if you really think about it.
Yep.
I think it would be the best move. I just don't know if he wants to live somewhere cold again. I honestly don't know. So it's like, if he doesn't, the only way that he stays with the Lakers is that if he takes a pay cut. And I seriously doubt he's going to take a pay cut because they got to pay Austin Reeves, because Luka Doncic was on record saying that he wants to play with Austin Reeves and they don't want to trade away Austin Reeves for nobody. Now, Giannis, not nobody. They don't want to
Yep.
trade him for nobody because Luka wants to remain playing with him for the rest of the career. And the Lakers are not going to do what the Dallas Mavericks did. Let's
Hmm.
be real. They're not gonna jeopardize that relationship with Luka Doncic.
Yep.
Um, if he stays in LA, it's got to be the Clippers. The Clippers are looking to rebuild right now, is what the rumors are suggesting. But if they're able to keep Kawhi there, because Kawhi's from LA, he loves being over there. He loves living over there. Like he literally left a team that he played with 1 year and they won the championship and said, "Nah, deuces, I'm out. I don't care if we look like we could win for the next 3 seasons." He was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
I'm out." Went to LA. He's been there ever since, and this season he was playing pretty good. He even played pretty good in the playoffs. They just didn't have enough firepower. So if they put LeBron and him together, who knows? A good roster around them, who knows? Who knows, right?
Yep.
But I would say Cleveland, LA Lakers if he takes a pay cut, or LA Clippers just because he wants to stay in California and stay over there. I don't think Golden State, I don't think that's going to be an option for him. I don't think he would go to Golden State, and I don't think they would even have the money to pay him for that. I think
Yeah.
he's going to want his bread. He's not going to take a pay cut. So
Yeah, and I mean, and him not being able to go to Golden State would be a shame because like him and Steph Curry, we've seen in the All Star game.
it
That's
would
some
be sick.
beautiful bat.
It would be
That's some
sick.
beautiful basketball, man. One of the best on ball IQ players in LeBron, and then you've got Steph Curry's off ball gravity and shooting. It's just beautiful to watch. But yeah, LA or Clippers could be an interesting move for him, but I think I think if there's any place he'd be willing to take a pay cut for, if you want to call it that, it would be and the hometown discount in Cleveland. And again, it's a pretty stacked team. So him going there, he doesn't even have to be the guy necessarily. He can just be the savvy vet chipping in 25 and 5. And I think that's more than enough.
Yep, definitely, definitely. Before we get out of here, let's touch upon the Oklahoma City Thunder. They
Yeah.
haven't lost a game. They look like they're about to go to the NBA Finals, no matter if they play the Minnesota Timberwolves, San Antonio Spurs. But you could give your opinion on that. If they do get to the NBA Finals, most likely they're going to play the New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons, or Cleveland Cavaliers. From any one of those teams, from the West to the East, is there any one of those teams that you think that can beat them? If so, who? And do you think that they're gonna start this dynasty, or you think they're gonna end up losing in the NBA Finals?
I think that of all the teams that you just mentioned, I think the best bet is San Antonio. Of course, they are because of how well they played them in the regular season. I get it. Postseason is different, but San Antonio has also been playing really good in the postseason as well. I mean, they're up. Let me check the score right now. They're up 15 against Minnesota. So I mean,
Wemby, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. Called
how
it.
do you
Called it.
how do you guard that? That's my biggest question. Your best bet is to put Chet Holmgren on that, and that's the thing. Victor Wembanyama is their kryptonite. So it's that, and that whole Spurs team. Do I think that they beat them this year? No, because I still think they're a piece or two away. But they're a great young team, and if there's anybody that's going to beat the streak, quote unquote, and be able to stop them, like or be able to hang one loss on the column, it'll be San Antonio. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they took two. It wouldn't surprise me if they took it to a game seven. That's how elite Victor Wembanyama is as a player. That's how great he makes this team, and I think they play really well off him. From the East, I would say maybe in descending order from best likely to least likely, New York, just because again they have a lot of firepower on offense. Probably then after that, Cleveland. It's probably like a 1A, 1B, I would say, just because both of them do different things. I think that contribute. Maybe you can make the argument for Cleveland because you could say they're a bit more well rounded on both ends. And then Detroit, love Cade Cunningham, love the mentality, defense, grit, but it's just still too much of a one man show right now. So, but I give San Antonio probably 6 or 7 games, and then maybe the Knicks or Cavs will take like one game in the finals. But if Detroit makes it, they're getting swept.
Yeah, it's so funny because I don't think any East team beats them one game at all,
I
dude. At
I
all.
I don't know, man. I think there's at least a shot that one of them gets one, and maybe it's like we said, on the road or something. It also depends on how well J-Dub recovers too.
Yeah.
So but I mean, shout out to AJ Mitchell though, dude. 28 points in the closeout game, like
Oh, he looks like another Jalen Brunson, dude.
does he's a stud, and it's just
Crazy.
the rich just keep getting richer, and they still
Yeah,
have
they
more
have the
draft picks.
12th pick. They have the 12th pick in the draft.
Yep,
Right before us, dog.
dude.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, man, it's just not fair. Sam Presti is probably, if that man does not win like executive of the decade, I don't know who else deserves it but him.
Right. I agree with you. I think the Spurs are gonna be the only team that actually give them a run for their money. I think it can go 7 games because, like you said, who can stop Wembanyama? Like there's no answer for that guy. You're gonna have to literally do what he did and just elbow him right in the throat, right in the esophagus, and
Yep.
see if he gets out of the game. But even
Yep.
then, like he has so much like willpower right now to want to win and to need to win. You can see it in his eyes that he needs to win. Like he just
Mhm.
really wants it. And then when you look at the whole team, the way that they're constructed, they got 8 guys that can give you 10 or more. Literally, right now, they have 6 guys that have scored 11 or more points right now, and it's only halftime. Like,
Yep.
dude, they have a lot of firepower too, just like the Oklahoma City Thunder. I just think that Oklahoma, with the experience that they have and the way that Shea plays, whenever he feels like he needs to take over, it's
Mhm.
tough for anybody to stop that. It's the same side with Victor Wembanyama. The thing is that I think that Chet is going to be doing a little bit better of a job than anybody that can cover Shea on the other side.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to have to see. But I think it's going to be a great series. I think it goes to Game 7. I think Oklahoma
Yep.
City, obviously, they're going to have the home court advantage. And I think they're going to take it. But when it goes to the NBA Finals, any team that goes to the NBA Finals is getting swept. Just like the first 2 rounds. Just like the Lakers and the Suns. They're getting swept. Waxing that ass. Bad. It's going to be bad.
I was gonna say they definitely do need to give Chet some MMA lessons like in between, just so that way he can be able to hang with Wemby. So that might be their only shot,
Let
man.
them, let them fist fight for like 10 seconds.
Dude, nothing like watching some two 7-foot string beans just going at it right there, man.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Yeah, Spurs up 59-47 at the half. Wembanyama 21 points, 2 for 5 and 3, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, plus minus plus 21 right now.
Yeah.
So showing out, dude. Showing out.
Dude.
But
Stud.
BC, we got a few more games left in the second round. We got the conference finals. We got more MLB baseball that we're not able to talk about tonight, but we will on the next episode. No worries, guys. We got Brandon's bullpen for Friday night. Dude,
Talking some Tampa Bay Rays with y'all, man. That's gonna be
Tampa Bay
fun.
Rays. Yep. The Marlins are just marlining right now, and the Yankees are yanking. They're playing amazing right now. Yeah, I know you don't like to hear that. I know you don't like to hear that.
No, but that's okay. I'm pulling up the standings right now for the divisions though too, real quick. Because last time, oh wait, that's right. Who's at first in the AL East? Oh no, New York's 1.5 games back. Who's sitting at top? Oh, that's the Rays. Oh shoot. Oh man, look at that, man. Like a third of the payroll, and yet, man, come on,
sometimes,
guys. All the
sometimes you get
money.
lucky, dude. Sometimes you get lucky.
I mean, that's player development right there.
We
dude.
have two of the top 5 home run hitters right now on the team, baby. That's what I
Hey,
like. That's what I like.
That's great.
Like,
Guess what? We got Chandler freaking Simpson. He's
yeah.
gonna be stolen base, dude. The next Ricky Henderson. Mark
Yeah,
Mark
no,
Williams.
he's looking nasty. He's looking
He
nasty.
is. He's a stud. Him, Yandy Diaz, still like 34 years old, still hitting over 300, and Junior Caminero finding the swing. We back, man.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, man. Let these people know what you got going on, brother.
Dude, you guys been following long enough. You already know BC the brand _media on the Instagram. Gosh, we got a lot of stuff going on this week. Tomorrow night I'll be covering the Polk County All-Star game. I've been taking a little bit of a break. Yeah, Polk County All-Star game in Tiger Town. Took a little bit of a break from posting stuff, just been really busy with stuff. But then that got FHSA Girls Flag Football State Championships at One Buck Place coming at you on Friday and Saturday. So looking forward to that. And Thursday night, USF baseball throwback night. Go Bulls. So it's got a whole week planned. Going to try to pump out some stories, some content, a little bit with you guys over there. And then, of course, I got to shout out the missus because I got to. She loves watching the show. Shout out to you, honey, Desi. Brandest.media. You can find her. You got anybody watching, somebody you know, you got engagements, you've got weddings, you got someone that needs corporate stuff done. She takes care of you. She got that photography. She's got that eye. She's the best photographer I've ever seen. There may be a little bias aside, but I don't care. She's the best. Brandest.media. That's where you can follow her.
We love it. We love it. We want to give a shout out to PodMatch. PodMatch is a website that connects podcasters together. We've been on, we've had several guests come up on our shows. We're going to in the later future be on other shows. It's a great website to try to get in contact with any podcasters, any single genre, obviously with sports, music, movies, entertainment, food. It doesn't really matter. You know, we get them on here, we start talking smack, they talk smack with us, and we love the website. We love them for hooking us up with other people and trying to, increase the podcast community. Love PodMatch. Guys, you can follow me on my socials at gmikemedia_, YouTube, IG, and TikTok. The video version of this podcast is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on all podcast platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you name it. BC, good stuff, man. I'll see you soon. And, NBA playoffs, baby. Hopefully, Wembanyama gets this 30 points and 12 rebounds, baby.
Not 12, make it 20. Give him a 30-20 night. Give him a 30-20. 30-20. Let's go 5 blocks and 5 steals. Let's do a quintuple double. He's got to get it at some point.
That'll be sick. Right?
Heck yeah. NBA Finals? Nah, not yet.
Not this year. Peace!